I am a simple wooden walking stick, plain and unremarkable to anyone in this house, but I have seen everything that happens here, and I have felt more than anyone else could ever imagine. This house is old, creaky, and always noisy, filled with sounds of children running through hallways, plates clattering in the kitchen, and the television blaring from the living room. Everyone moves so fast here, always busy, always loud, and yet no one even notices me. I am either shoved into a corner, forgotten under the couch, or thrown carelessly across the floor. Sometimes I end up on the wet kitchen tiles, water soaking into my wood, crumbs sticking to me, dust layering over my surface, and the children stepping over me as if I were nothing. Yet through it all, there is Mr. Samuel, the old man who uses me every day, whose fragile hands hold me with a mix of need and trust. His hands are weak, shaking slightly from age, but when they wrap around me, I feel a sense of purpose that the rest of the house never gives me. When Mr. Samuel first picked me up, I remember the moment clearly, as if it happened yesterday. His fingers brushed along my smooth surface, tentative but curious, and in that touch I felt a connection. I thought, finally, my life has a reason. I am not just a piece of wood, I am someone's companion, someone's support. But over the years, I have learned that companionship does not always come with care. The children here hit me with sticks, drag me across the floor, and use me as if I am a toy to be thrown aside when they are bored. They laugh and scream, unaware that I feel every shove, every scrape, every mark they leave on me. Just last week, the rain came, and I lay on the porch, soaked through, cold and alone, with no one noticing me at all. Only Mr. Samuel came to me, struggling with his own aches and pains, bending carefully, whispering my name as he lifted me from the mud. He held me with such gentle determination that I knew I was not forgotten by him, even if I was by everyone else.
His hands are old, dry, and trembling, but they treat me with care. Every time he moves, I feel the weight of his age pressing down, his small, slow steps echoing the years he has carried on his back. I feel his loneliness deeply, the quiet that fills his heart when the children yell or run past without notice. No one listens to him. No one sees the sadness behind his eyes, the way his lips tremble when he thinks no one is watching. And when he drags himself to his room at the end of a long day, leaning on me as he goes, I feel the heavy weight of his memories and regrets. I am the only one who supports him through all this, yet I too am treated as though I am nothing, thrown aside, left in dust and dirt, only to be picked up again when he needs me. His room is different from the rest of the house, quieter, darker, with a small shelf holding a framed photograph of his late wife. He often sits on the edge of the bed, staring at that picture, silent. And I feel his longing, his grief, and the love that time has not diminished. Sometimes he places me beside his bed and whispers, "You're the only one with me." And in those words, I feel the weight of all he has endured, the joy he has experienced, and the loneliness that surrounds him in this busy house. Even though the children and other residents treat me carelessly, Mr. Samuel treats me with respect. When they drag me across the floor, he gently lifts me, brushing off dust, placing me back beside him. I am not just a stick. I am his companion, a mirror of his life, his silent confidant. I see it in his eyes every day, the way he carries memories of love and loss, happiness and regret, and the quiet dignity with which he walks through each day. I know that even when the house ignores him, even when the world throws him aside, I am here for him, and he is here for me. We both carry the weight of neglect in different ways. Yet we continue, step by step, day by day, holding each other up. And every night, when he places me beside the bed, I know that at least one being in this house sees me for what I really am. Not just a stick, but a witness, a support, a silent friend who will never leave him.
Every morning, the routine begins again. I wait in the corner, leaning against the wall, knowing that soon Mr. Samuel's frail hands will reach for me. The children are already running through the hallways, their laughter loud and careless, stepping over me as if I am just another object in the chaos. Sometimes one of them kicks me on purpose, just to hear the sound I make against the wooden floor. I feel every hit, every scrape, and every push, but I do not complain. That is not my place. My place is to support Mr. Samuel, even if the rest of the house does not notice me, even if the rest of the house does not care. I feel the rhythm of the house in every crack of the floorboard, in every slam of the doors, in every yell or giggle. And yet, despite the noise and carelessness, I am his companion, his steady friend, the one thing that moves with him through every corner of this home. When Mr. Samuel finally lifts me, I feel relief. I feel a purpose. His hand wraps around me, slightly trembling, and I feel the weight of his body as he leans on me to steady himself. He moves slowly, carefully, each step deliberate, each motion a small victory against the aches that have accumulated over decades. I know he feels the same way I do about this house. It is loud, messy, sometimes cruel, and yet it is home. We move together through the hallways, past the furniture that seems to grow taller as he shrinks with age. I feel every bump, every uneven floorboard, every rough edge, and I am careful to keep him steady. It is a role I have held for years, and I take it seriously. Even if no one else sees my service, even if no one else values my presence, I am proud of it. The children sometimes follow us, poking at me, teasing Mr. Samuel as he walks. They do not understand. They do not see the years etched into the lines of his face, the quiet dignity in the way he moves despite pain, or the memories he carries silently. They do not see how important I am to him, how much he depends on me, not just for physical support, but for comfort, for reassurance that he is not entirely alone in this house. When one of them swings at me, I brace myself. I know he flinches, but he does not shout. He does not get angry. He simply tightens his grip and continues. That is the way of this house, harsh, careless, unfeeling. And yet, Mr. Samuel walks on, and I am there with him, silently enduring, silently giving him the support he needs, knowing that without me, he would not be able to move through these rooms with the same confidence. Sometimes we reach the kitchen and the smell of cooking fills the air. Children rush past, dropping crumbs on the floor. One of them accidentally kicks me, sending me rolling slightly, and I brace against the tiles. Mr. Samuel's hand immediately finds me, lifting me gently, whispering words I cannot hear, but I feel the tone: concern, care, and love. No one else notices. No one else even sees. They are too busy with their own lives, their own noise, their own careless play. And still, he holds me like I am precious, like I am the only constant in this chaotic house. And in a way, I am. For him, I am the anchor, the friend who never complains, the companion who will never leave. As we move from room to room, I feel the weight of his memories pressing through him. He pauses in front of the window sometimes, staring at nothing, lost in thoughts that go back decades. I feel the sorrow, the longing, the love and regrets that weigh him down. He leans on me more heavily during these moments, and I hold him up, not just physically, but emotionally, carrying some of his pain in the way only a loyal companion can. The children continue their chaos, laughing, yelling, bumping into furniture, dragging me along at times, and I endure it all. I endure because he needs me. Even in neglect, even in abuse, I am steady. I am constant. By the time evening comes, Mr. Samuel returns to his room, weary, but still holding on to me. I feel relief in that moment, a quiet satisfaction that I have kept him safe through another day. The house is still noisy, still careless, but I have carried him through it. He places me carefully near his bed, sometimes brushing off the dust, sometimes just leaning heavily on me for a few minutes before he sits down. In that quiet, I feel everything he feels: exhaustion, loneliness, longing, and love. And I know that even if the rest of the house sees me as nothing, he sees me for exactly what I am: his friend, his support, and his witness. Even in neglect, even in abuse, even in a house that sees me as nothing more than wood, I am his constant, and that is enough.
Sometimes, late at night, when the house is finally quiet and the children have gone to bed or left the room, I watch Mr. Samuel sit alone in his chair, leaning slightly on me. The room is dim, the only light coming from a small lamp on the bedside table. I feel his slow, measured breathing, the way his shoulders sag with the weight of so many years, so many memories. I see him staring at the walls as if they hold the stories of his life, stories that no one else in the house cares to hear. I am here with him, my wooden body pressing lightly against his hand, and I feel the depth of his solitude, the quiet ache that comes from being overlooked, ignored, and sometimes even treated unfairly by those who should care. The children are loud and messy during the day, running through every room, stepping over me, dropping things on me, sometimes even hitting me on purpose just for fun. Yet now, when the house is silent, I am the only one who truly listens to him. I feel every memory that rises in his mind like a tide. He thinks of his wife, her soft voice, the warmth of her hands, the comfort of her smile. He thinks of his children when they were small, their laughter echoing in these same rooms, their tiny feet running along the hallways that now seem so empty. I feel the love and the loss, the bittersweet happiness and the sharp sting of regret. Sometimes he closes his eyes and lets a tear fall, and I feel it through the pressure of his hand, the slight tremble as he leans on me for support. In those moments, I am not just a stick. I am a vessel for his emotions, a silent witness to everything he cannot share with anyone else in this house. During the day, I endure the rough treatment. The children throw me, drag me across floors, spill things on me, and leave me in corners where dust and dirt accumulate. Sometimes they even use me as a toy, swinging me or hitting each other with me. And yet, despite all this, when Mr. Samuel takes me into his hands, I feel purpose. He holds me with care, gently adjusting his grip, making sure I am steady beneath him. Every step he takes, I am there to support him, not just physically, but emotionally. I feel his need for stability, his need for comfort, his need to remember that someone, even a simple stick like me, truly cares about him.
There are times when he forgets to clean me, or the house leaves me in the dust or in damp corners. and I feel myself being ignored, as if I have no value at all. Yet I endure because I know he will come back, as he always does. He always reaches for me, always trusts me to hold him upright, to be the support he cannot live without. And even though the world in this house treats me as useless, he treats me with respect, with tenderness, with understanding that I will never leave him. I carry him through every room, through every memory, through every lonely thought that he has when no one else pays attention. I have seen him pause at the window many times, staring outside as if hoping to see someone, something, or even a moment from the past. I feel the longing in him, the quiet sadness that seeps into every movement. Sometimes he sighs, and I feel it deep in my wood, as though his breath carries years of both joy and pain. In those moments, I wish I could do more than hold him physically. I wish I could carry some of the weight of his memories, of his regrets, of his loneliness. But all I can do is stay steadfast beneath his hand, offer stability, offer presence, offer the comfort of knowing that he is not entirely alone. Even as the house sleeps, I remain his constant companion. I have been thrown, neglected, and sometimes mistreated, but I endure. I have been stepped on, dragged, and dirtied, but I remain. I have witnessed neglect and carelessness, yet I am faithful. And in the quiet of the night, as Mr. Samuel rests in his chair, leaning against me, I feel a profound connection that no one else in this house can understand. I am his friend, his support, his witness, his constant. In this way, even a simple, worn stick like me has a purpose, a life, a role in preserving the quiet dignity of an old man who has seen so much, loved so deeply, and endured so silently.
Sometimes I think about the years that have passed for Mr. Samuel, the life he has lived before this noisy, careless house became his world. I feel the weight of every memory as he leans on me, his hand tightening ever so slightly, as if holding on to me also helps him hold on to the past. I feel his first love, the way his late wife used to smile at him, the warmth of her hand in his. I feel the small joys, the simple happiness of walking together in the park, sharing a quiet meal, laughing at small jokes only they understood. Those days seem far away now, buried under years of solitude, under the chaos of this house, under the neglect of children who do not understand, and even under the quiet indifference of adults who pass by without noticing him. Yet, in every step he takes with me, I feel his desire to remember, to hold on, to not forget. I feel his regrets, too, the chances he did not take, the words he never said, the times he was too tired, too cautious, or too unsure to act. And in those moments, I am more than a stick. I am a companion to his memories, a bridge between what he loved and what he has lost. Sometimes I am cast aside, forgotten in a corner, left in the dirt or under a pile of laundry. Yet I do not resent it. I know he will return to me, as he always does, and that is enough. I know that he needs me, not just as a tool to lean on, but as a witness to the life he has lived, as someone or something that shares the weight of his emotions without judgment. I am the one thing in this house that never leaves him, never complains, never fails to be there when he reaches for me. Even when I am covered in dust or water, even when I am kicked or dragged across the floor, I remain steadfast, because my purpose is to carry him in every sense of the word. I feel the passing of time in him. His hands are frailer than before, his step slower, his sighs deeper. And I feel it in myself, too. My wood aging, my surface roughened by years of use. We are both weathered, yet both still standing, still moving, still holding on. And I understand something important in these moments. The time is not just about years, but about endurance. It is about continuing even when ignored, continuing even when treated poorly, continuing even when no one notices. That is what we do, he and I. And in that endurance, I feel a kind of quiet dignity, a silent triumph that belongs to both of us. Every evening, as he rests, I remain at his side, feeling his slow breathing, his deep sighs, and the subtle tremor in his hands as he finally lets himself relax. I feel the full measure of his life, the love, the loss, the laughter, and the pain, and I hold it all with him. In this house that treats us both with indifference, in a world that overlooks our quiet existence, I am his companion, his support, his witness, and he is mine. We have endured together. We have carried each other through the neglect, and we will continue to do so. Day after day, year after year, step by step, memory by memory.
The house is never quiet for long. From the moment the sun rises until it sets, there is a constant rhythm of noise. Children running across the floors, chairs scraping, doors slamming, the television blaring, dishes clattering. And through it all, I am there, a silent witness, a companion to Mr. Samuel, who moves slowly, carefully, leaning on me as he navigates the chaos. The children do not mean to be cruel, but they are unaware of the way they treat me. I am stepped on, kicked, dragged across the floor, and sometimes even swung like a toy. I have been knocked into corners, left under tables, and forgotten in hallways. Dust gathers on me. Food crumbs stick to my surface, and occasionally water spills onto me from the kitchen floor. And yet, I endure. I endure because Mr. Samuel needs me. I endure because this is my role, to be steady when the world is reckless, to be firm when the people around him are careless, to be the one constant he can depend on. Mr. Samuel moves through the chaos with a quiet dignity that is invisible to the rest of the house. I feel every step he takes, every careful motion of his body, every subtle shift of his weight as he leans on me. The children rush past, bumping into furniture, knocking over objects, dropping toys and books in their wake. Sometimes they laugh when I wobble under their feet, and I brace myself, holding him steady, absorbing the pressure so he does not stumble. He does not complain, he does not shout, he simply continues, moving with patience and grace, aware of the limitations of his own body and the limitations of the world around him. And I am here for him every step of the way, a constant presence, a protector in silence. I have been thrown, kicked, and dragged countless times, and yet Mr. Samuel picks me up gently each time. His hand finds me even when I am lying in the dirt, dust covering my surface, water soaking through me, or food crumbs sticking to my wood. I feel his care in the way he holds me, in the slight pressure of his fingers, in the way he adjusts his grip to make sure I support him properly. No one else notices. No one else seems to care. But he does, and that is enough. That is why I endure, why I accept the rough treatment of the house and the children, why I continue to be the faithful companion he relies on.
I feel his heart in every movement, every pause, every sigh. He thinks of his late wife, of the life they shared, of the small joys that once filled this house before the chaos and neglect became the constant. I feel the memories rising within him as he leans on me, the laughter and warmth of decades past, the sorrow and regret that linger in quiet corners of his mind. Sometimes he stops, gazes at a photograph, or touches an old object on a shelf, and I feel the weight of his emotions pressing down through his hand onto my wood. I hold it all for him, the joy, the sorrow, the regret, the love, because that is my purpose, and I am proud to fulfill it. Even when the children are careless, even when the house seems to act against him, Mr. Samuel moves with patience and dignity. I feel the rhythm of his steps, the careful way he navigates around obstacles, the quiet determination in his movements. He trusts me completely, and I trust him in return. We have developed a rhythm together. He leans on me, I steady him, he moves forward, I support him, and in that rhythm we are partners, companions, a small team enduring the chaos of life in a house that often seems indifferent to our presence. At the end of the day, when the house quiets for a moment and the children settle into their rooms, Mr. Samuel sits in his chair and I remain at his side. I feel his exhaustion, his quiet relief, his satisfaction in surviving another day. And I feel pride too, pride in my ability to hold him up, to protect him from the carelessness around us, to share his memories and his burdens silently, faithfully. The house may be messy, the people may be rough, the world may be indifferent, but here, in this small room, I am his constant, and that is all that matters.
Even in quiet moments, Mr. Samuel's loneliness is heavy, like a shadow that never leaves him. I feel it in the way he leans on me, in the ways his fingers tremble slightly when he holds me, in the deep sighs that escape him when no one is watching. This house is full of life, yet he is surrounded by silence in his heart. The children run, laugh, and play, but they do not notice the small shiver in his hand, the careful way he adjusts his steps, the longing in his eyes. Adults pass by, busy with their own concerns, and fail to see the subtle weight of years pressing down on him. And I am here, every day, every hour, silently sharing that loneliness, silently holding him up as he carries the weight of decades, the memories, the regrets, and the love that lingers quietly within him. I see his reflection in small things, the sunlight on the floor, the shadow on the wall, the little mirror he keeps by the doorway. I feel the passing of time in his movements, slow and careful now, deliberate and measured. His body speaks of age, of wear, of loss, of endurance, and I feel it all through the gentle pressure of his hands. Sometimes he pauses in the hallway, staring at nothing, and I sense the flood of memories washing over him. Childhood adventures, the laughter of friends, the love of his wife, the small joys of life that now exist only in memory. I am the one he leans on as he carries this invisible weight. I am the one who supports him, who feels the echoes of his life in every fiber of my being, and who never judges him for his pain or his silence. At times, I feel almost invisible, lying in corners or under tables when not in use, covered in dust, sometimes slightly damp, occasionally scuffed from rough treatment. And yet Mr. Samuel always finds me, always. His hands, weak but determined, reach for me, lift me up, and place me carefully beside him. There is no rush, no careless tossing, just care, just attention, just recognition that even something as simple as a wooden stick can hold meaning, can offer comfort, can be a faithful companion. He trusts me completely. And in return, I hold him without fail, supporting him not only through the physical steps of the house, but through the emotional steps of his life, the sorrow, the longing, the small joys, the regrets, the moments of quiet reflection. I feel his heart in the rhythm of his movement, in the quiet pauses, in the way he adjusts his grip on me. He leans harder sometimes, as if I could somehow carry more than just his body,
as if I could absorb some of the weight of his years, his memories, his regrets. And though I am just a stick, I bear it all with him, silently, faithfully, uncomplaining. In these moments, I am more than wood and polish. I am a friend, a support, a witness to the slow passage of time, a companion to the quiet endurance of a man who has lived, who has loved, who has lost, who has survived. The loneliness of Mr. Samuel is mirrored in me. I have been thrown aside, ignored, stepped on, dragged across floors, left in corners, but I endure. I am always here when he needs me. I am always steady beneath his hand, ready to give support when he moves, when he pauses, when he hesitates. And in return, I feel the depth of his appreciation. Even in small ways, the gentle brush of his fingers across my surface, the way he adjusts his grip with care, the small sigh of relief when I hold him steady after a difficult step. These tiny gestures speak volumes. I may not be alive in the way he is, but I feel the world, the house, and his emotions through him. And I understand him in a way that no one else does. Sometimes, when the children leave me alone and the house is quiet, I watch him sit in his chair, leaning heavily against me, eyes closed, letting the weight of years and memories settle for a moment. I feel every breath, every shiver, every beat of his heart. I feel the loneliness, the sorrow, the love, the longing, the regrets, and I hold it with him. He is fragile, yet he is enduring. I am worn, yet I am faithful. And together we continue, step by step, day by day, through the noise and carelessness of the house, through the neglect of those who do not understand, and through the quiet despair and the small joys of life. Together we endure. Together we survive. Together we are not alone.
I remember the days when Mr. Samuel was younger, full of energy, full of laughter, full of hope. I feel it in the way he moves now, slowly and carefully, each step measured and deliberate, as if trying to stretch time, as if trying to hold on to the years he has left. He leans on me, and I feel the echoes of his past, the bright mornings, the sun streaming through open windows, the smell of fresh bread, the sound of laughter filling rooms that now feel empty. I feel the love he carried for his wife, the tenderness in his voice when he spoke to her, the warmth in his eyes when he looked at her. Those memories are heavy, not with sadness alone, but with the richness of a life deeply felt. I am here, supporting him, but I am also holding those memories, sharing in their weight, their beauty, their bittersweet pain. The house does not honor those memories. The children run and shout, unaware of the life that has gone before them, of the quiet dignity in Mr. Samuel's posture, of the love that still glows in his heart despite the years and the losses. Sometimes they throw me across the floor or step on me, and I feel the contrast sharply, the roughness of the present against the tenderness of the past. And yet, Mr. Samuel does not complain. He simply leans on me, finding comfort in my presence, finding continuity in the fact that I have been here, silently, through every step of his life, through every memory, through every loss. I am his anchor, steady and reliable, even when the world around us is careless and loud. I feel the weight of his grief too. His wife is gone, but her presence lingers in the corners of his mind, in the small habits he has kept, in the quiet ways he honors her memory. I feel the longing in him, the ache for days that will never return, the moments he wishes he could relive. And I hold that weight with him, silently and faithfully, the way a loyal companion should. I am not alive like he is, but through him I feel the depth of human emotion, the joy, the love, the pain, the loneliness, and the longing that fill a lifetime. And I hold it with care.
There are evenings when he sits by the window, looking out at the world, lost in thought. I feel him remembering small moments, the laughter of his children when they were young, the quiet mornings with his wife, the small victories and disappointments of life. I feel the joy and the sorrow, the pride and the regret, and I absorb it all without judgment. I am a witness to the full measure of his life, the one constant that has endured through every season, every change, every loss. I am here to hold him steady, to remind him that even in the chaos of the house, even in the indifference of the world, there is someone or something that will never leave him. Sometimes, when the children leave me alone and the house is quiet, I feel the past and the present collide. I feel the rough floors, the careless hands, the dust and dirt, and I feel the softness of memory, the warmth of love, the quiet ache of loss. Mr. Samuel leans on me, and I am both support and witness, holding him upright, holding his memories, holding his heart. I have been tossed, neglected, dirtied, and forgotten countless times, yet here I am, unwavering, steadfast, faithful, and he knows it. He knows that I will not falter, that I will not fail, that I will remain beside him through every step, every pause, every reflection on the life he has lived. I feel a quiet satisfaction in these moments, the deep, unspoken connection between us. We are more than man and stick. We are companions, friends, confidants, silent witnesses to each other's existence. I am worn, yes, but I am honored. I am used, yes, but I am valued by the one who matters most. In a world that overlooks us, in a house that is careless and noisy, I am his anchor, his support, his steady presence. And in return, I feel the fullness of his life, his love, his grief, and his enduring spirit.
There are rare moments when the house seems almost kind, when the chaos pauses just enough for Mr. Samuel to feel a small joy. I am there in those moments, steady beneath his hand, feeling the lightness in his steps, the warmth in his smile, the quiet relief that comes from a peaceful instant. Sometimes the children leave a chair in the right place or drop a toy without hitting me. Sometimes an adult notices him, offering a small gesture, a smile, a cup of tea, a gentle word. These moments are fleeting, but they are enough to remind him and me that the world is not always harsh, that kindness still exists in small doses, that love and care can still be found even in a house that often forgets him. I feel the shift in him immediately. His shoulders relax, his hands grip me less tightly, his steps carry a subtle confidence. I am always there to keep him upright, but in these moments I feel as though we are both lighter, both buoyed by the rare acknowledgement that someone sees us, that someone notices our quiet endurance. I watch him smile at small things, the sunlight hitting the floor in a certain way, a bird landing outside the window, the faint smell of fresh bread from the kitchen. It is in these tiny details that he finds life's sweetness. I feel him pause and inhale, a deep, slow breath that carries decades of memory and gratitude. Even though the rest of the house may be loud, careless, or indifferent, these little moments of beauty give him and me a reason to keep going. I feel the pulse of his memories in those moments. Walks in the park, afternoons with his wife, quiet evenings with family, the laughter of children long gone. I feel both joy and sorrow intertwined, a reminder of how full his life has been, how much he has loved, and how much he has lost. Sometimes he talks to me, softly, as if I am a friend who can understand everything without judgment. "You're still here,"
he whispers, his voice fragile but filled with gratitude. "You haven't left me, have you?" I do not answer with words, but I respond in the only way I can, by remaining steady, by holding him, by carrying his weight through every step, every pause, every memory. I feel the relief in him when he speaks, the quiet comfort of knowing that at least one companion in this house is loyal, dependable, unwavering. Even when the children are rough or the adults are indifferent, he knows he can rely on me. And I know I can rely on him too, on his trust, his care, and the quiet recognition that I am more than a stick. There are evenings when the house quiets, and he leans back in his chair, placing me across his knees. I feel him caress my worn surface, and in that touch I feel the entirety of his heart. I feel the love he still carries for his late wife, the tenderness for his children, the gratitude for the small joys and the sorrow for the losses. I feel the passage of time in the slight tremor of his fingers, in the slow exhale of his breath, in the deep ache in his joints. And yet in these quiet moments I also feel the strength that remains, the endurance that has carried him through decades, the dignity that has not faded despite neglect, noise, and chaos. I have been thrown, stepped on, dirtied, and dragged, yet in these rare moments I feel honored. I feel pride. I am his witness, his companion, his support, and I share in his joys, small as they may be, with the same intensity as I share in his sorrow. I am a part of these fleeting moments, and I carry them with him, storing them quietly within my wooden frame, holding them safe when the rest of the house would not. And in return, I feel his gratitude, subtle but real, in the way he adjusts his grip, in the slight smile that reaches his eyes, and the soft whisper he sometimes utters, "You're still here with me." Life in this house is not always gentle, but these moments make the endurance worthwhile. I feel him find balance, both physically and emotionally, and I feel the shared resilience that has grown between us. Even when chaos returns, when noise and neglect fill the rooms again, I remember these moments with him, and I carry their warmth within me. They are proof that even in a world that is careless, even in a house that often forgets, there are still small victories, still fleeting joys, still moments of grace. And in those moments, I am more than wood. I am hope. I am comfort. I am his steady companion through the quiet beauty of life's little blessings.
I feel time in this house like a slow river, flowing endlessly, carrying both joy and sorrow along its current. I have been with Mr. Samuel for many years, steady beneath his hand, holding him up as he navigates each step, each room, each memory. I feel the passing of decades in the slight tremor of his fingers, the stiffness of his joints, the careful way he shifts his weight from one foot to the other. I feel it in the way he pauses before moving, as though measuring the distance, considering each step as though it holds meaning beyond the present moment. And I understand. I understand because I have been there, silent and steadfast, observing the life he has lived, the choices he has made, the regrets he carries quietly inside. I feel the weight of his past pressing down like a shadow, but I also feel the strength he has gained by enduring it. Sometimes I hear him whisper to himself, lost in thought, "I wish I had," or "if only I had," and I feel the sharp sting of regret that laces these words. He thinks of the chances he did not take, the words he never spoke, the small moments of courage left unclaimed. And yet, even in this sorrow, I feel the quiet dignity in him, the resilience that has carried him through life. I feel his wisdom, earned through hardship, loss, and endurance. I feel his ability to find beauty in small things, even when the world around him is careless, even when the children run over me, even when the house is loud and indifferent. I am there for him, silently holding him up, and through me, he finds the courage to move, to continue, to live with grace despite the regrets that linger. I feel the passage of time in the scratches along my surface, in the worn smoothness of my handle, in the small dents and marks left by careless hands. Each mark tells a story, a day when I held him up, a step taken despite pain, a moment endured without complaint. I feel pride in these marks, pride in my purpose, pride in being the one constant in his life. The children may throw me, step on me, or drag me across the floor, but I endure. I have learned to bear the weight of neglect, just as he has learned to bear the weight of memories, loss, and loneliness. We endure together, step by step, year by year, and in that endurance, I feel a quiet triumph that no one else in the house notices. Even in the evenings, when the house finally grows quiet, I feel the weight of his reflection. He sits in his chair, leaning on me, eyes closed, breathing slowly, thinking of decades gone by. I feel him remember the laughter, the tears, the love, the heartbreak, the joys, and the disappointments. I feel the solitude that comes with age, the awareness of years slipping away, the realization that time is finite, that each day carries the preciousness of life within it. And yet, I also feel his courage, his quiet endurance, his ability to keep moving, keep living, keep cherishing the small moments despite the regrets and losses. I hold him steady, and in that act, we are partners against the passage of time, silent witnesses to each other's existence. Sometimes I sense the longing in him for things that will never return, for people who are gone, for moments that are impossible to relive. I feel his sorrow, deep and quiet, pressing through his hands onto me, but I also feel his acceptance. He leans on me not only for physical support, but for emotional support, for comfort, for the quiet assurance that even as time moves relentlessly forward, he is not alone. I am here with him, just as I have always been, a faithful companion through every step, every pause, every moment of reflection, every sigh, every whisper of regret or memory. Through all the years, through all the neglect, the rough treatment, the chaos of the house, I remain steadfast. I am worn, I am scratched, I am sometimes dirty, but I am constant. I have carried him physically and emotionally through decades, and I will continue to do so. I am more than wood. I am his witness, his support, his silent companion. And in that role, I feel the quiet dignity of shared endurance, the profound depth of love and loyalty, and the honor of holding him steady as time flows around us both, relentless and unyielding.
Now, as I sit beside Mr. Samuel in the quiet of the evening, I feel the fullness of our shared life. The house is still, the children finally asleep, the sounds of daily chaos faded into distant echoes. I feel his slow, measured breathing against me, the gentle tremble of his hand, the small adjustments he makes to stay balanced. I have been with him for so long, through years of laughter and sorrow, through decades of love and loss, through neglect and carelessness, and I realize that our bond is stronger than anything the house or the world can throw at us. I am more than a stick. I am his witness, his confidant, his companion in every sense of the word, and he is mine. Through the passing years, the mistakes, the regrets, the fleeting joys, we have endured together.
I see him look at the framed photograph of his wife on the shelf, and I feel the wave of memory wash over him. The warmth of her touch, the softness of her voice, the quiet comfort of her presence. He sighs deeply, leaning on me as he remembers the life they shared, and I hold him steady, carrying not just his weight, but the weight of his memories. I feel his love, his longing, his sorrow, and I bear it all silently, faithfully, without complaint. I am worn, scratched, sometimes dirty, yet I feel honored to be the vessel of his emotions, the one constant in a world that often forgets him. Even in neglect, even in chaos, even in loneliness, I am here, and I am enough for him. The children have forgotten about me again, left me in a corner or under the table, stepping on me when they run by. And I endure, as I always have, because I know he will return to me. He always returns. His hands find me, gentle and careful, adjusting my position, leaning on me for support. I feel the trust in his touch, the quiet gratitude in the way he holds me, and I know that even though no one else in this house values me, I am treasured by the one who matters most. And in that recognition, in that simple act of connection, I find purpose, pride, and meaning. I am his companion, his anchor, his support. Without me, he would stumble through this world alone. With me, he endures. I feel him remember the past one last time tonight. The days of youth, the love he shared, the joys he experienced, the sorrow he endured. I feel the moments of laughter, the moments of tenderness, the quiet evenings and the loud mornings, all flowing together into the mosaic of his life. And I feel my place in it, quiet, constant, dependable, loyal. I have witnessed every step, every pause, every memory, every regret, every smile, and every tear. I have been his steady companion, holding him up when the house forgot, supporting him when the world overlooked him, loving him silently when no one else could or would. Sometimes I imagine the years to come, the slow, quiet days that will pass, and I know I will be there. I will be at his side through every sunrise and sunset, through every quiet moment and every bustling hour. I will continue to carry him, in body and in spirit, through the fragile balance of age, through the enduring loneliness, through the fleeting joys that shine brighter because they are so rare. I am more than wood. I am presence. I am comfort. I am the silent witness to the quiet dignity of an old man who has loved, endured, and survived. And as he leans on me tonight, eyes closed, hands resting gently across my surface, I feel the weight of everything we have shared. I feel the beauty, the sorrow, the love, the grief, and the regrets and the small joys that make life so precious. I feel the honor of being trusted, the satisfaction of being useful, the quiet pride of being constant in a world that is fleeting, careless, and indifferent. We have endured together. We have survived together. And as the night stretches on, I know that tomorrow we will continue, step by step, memory by memory, together, unbroken, faithful, and enduring. I am a simple walking stick. I am nothing to anyone else in this house. But to Mr. Samuel, I am everything. I am his companion, his support, his anchor, and his witness. And in this role, I have found a purpose greater than mere wood. I am part of his life, part of his memories, part of his heart.
I am here, and I always will be. Step by step, day by day, we move together, enduring, surviving, and holding on to the quiet dignity of life, love, and loyalty.